first day, like, when you go to these retreats, you're meditating, like, for 6-7+ hours a day. Like, that's your life for that week. I don't know, it's been kind of crazy. It's definitely changed my life in more ways than I can say. I used to just be so paranoid about literally everything that was going on with my future, like what I would do for a job when I was 40. All of this stuff that had no, like, immediate impact on me. Wow. And I would, like, not be able to make basic decisions in my life because I didn't know how it was going to affect everything long term. So that was, like, a really big struggle for me all the way up until I really started practicing heavily. It just sort of, like, set in, like, I was making, like, real progress with my life and I was dealing with things, and I, like, had no anxiety, had no stress.
When we can sit with ourselves and you know, take that time and know that, you know, it's okay and we're enough when we're alone. You know, we don't always have to be doing. Ironically, that gives us even more energy to do stuff.
Oh, of course.
You know. Hey guys, welcome to another Beneath the Surface podcast episode. Today I've got Diego here.
How's it going?
Good to have you on, man.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, well, welcome. The very first episode of the podcast that's actually going to be recorded. That's recording here in my new setup. So there's not much on the wall. Just shout out to Beth Sykes who did the artwork. And yeah, so there will be more things to look at in the future. But yeah, I'm excited to have this new setup. So we're going to talk about meditation. And
yeah.
So you went to a meditation retreat, right?
I've been to many meditation retreats.
That's awesome.
I've been to 5 at this point. December will be my 6th.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, I've been practicing meditation for, like, what is it now? Like 3-4 years, like, heavily, but I've been practicing on and off since I was a kid.
Dude, dang.
Yeah.
That's so it's like way back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, you know, it's one of those things that's like kind of hard, especially nowadays, hard to do. Because it's like being alone. I don't know, it's like, you know, we're as a, you know, as a society, we're kind of always doing.
Yeah.
So kind of just sitting down and practicing nothing, you know, in the sense of like the art of nothing, or just like, you know, just sitting with what is, basically, is really, you know, is difficult. It's been difficult for me because I meditated on and off for a little bit, and it was hard, you know. So what's your experience been?
My experience has been, like, I don't know, it's been kind of crazy. It's definitely changed my life in more ways than I can say.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
I used to just be so paranoid about literally everything that was going on with my future, like what I would do for a job when I was 40. All of this stuff that had no, like, immediate impact on me.
Wow.
And I would, like, not be able to make basic decisions in my life because I didn't know how it was going to affect everything long term. So that was, like, a really big struggle for me all the way up until I really started practicing heavily. And I realized, like if you sit with, like, nothing, just, like, you know, you have to take some time to realize, like, what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
But, like, it's also, like, you're not trying to think too much. Like, so it's just, like, what emotions are coming up, what thoughts are coming up, but you don't have to, like, encourage the thoughts or encourage the emotions. Just, like, you note that they're there. And then once you're, like, come out of a practice, you can take all that information you gained and just make a better decision based off of that. So I'd say,
yeah,
like, it's definitely made the way I just look at the world make a lot more sense to me and allow me to make better decisions. Like, if I hadn't practiced meditation for so long, I would have never been able to decide if I should take a gap year from college or not. And now here I am.
Wow. Yeah. So, like, it's on multiple layers and levels. It's affected you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, meditation's really interesting to me because it's like it can. Like you said, you kind of just see the thoughts that come up.
Yeah.
And you don't really, like, you don't resist them, right?
No.
And you don't, but you don't overthink it, but you just look at them and they're there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's hard for me, man. Like meditation, like you said, it helped you cope with like worrying about the future.
Yeah.
I resonate a lot with that. I just want to put out there, I really resonate a lot with that because, you know, it's less of a big thing now. It definitely is still there.
Yeah.
But I've been working on it. But it's like, I for a while I've had, you know, some form of obsessive compulsive.
Yeah.
You know, being obsessive compulsive about certain things and like, and it's kind of about that. It's like worrying about like, oh shit, how is this gonna affect my day tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly.
Week next week, 2 years from now. You know, it's like kind of this like what if type thing. And I could definitely see meditation really helping out with obsessive compulsive stuff like that.
Like one of the best things I've found, I've known from a lot of other people who have meditated with it, that it's a very hit or miss like strategy.
Yeah.
But it works for me a lot is when you're trying to like, if you're having trouble noting down what's coming up, like what type of emotion or what thought without like overanalyzing it, just say it out loud and just move on from there. Just say it out loud.
Just see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of, oh man, that's like really, that's another thing that's helped me a lot is like just seeing what I'm scared of.
Exactly.
You know, and like what is in my life that I'm worried about, anxious about, you know, and just, you know, instead of maybe one way or another numbing through it, you know, with like Netflix or whatever, you know, there's a million ways, right?
Of course.
We can run, but just like facing something head on and I think that's what meditation is a lot of that. It's like you just see what comes up.
Of course,
you know, and that's cool.
Like sometimes you don't even realize there's a problem, and then you meditate and you're like, oh shit, I've got it messed up.
There's a dragon in my house right now, aka my psyche.
Yeah, exactly. I've had that experience like way too many times, but then you always feel better like once you work yourself through it, which is like the great part.
That's the freeing part.
Yeah.
It's like these weights just leave. You know, once you take something on head on, it's like it loses so much, if not all of its power on you.
It just really doesn't come back that often anymore after that.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what, you know, and the more we run away, the more powerful it gets too.
Yeah.
So like, but then even if it's something that's been with you for years, like some bitterness or anger or something, you meaning collective you know. I actually really don't know you very well, but I mean, happy to have you on either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like either whether it's, you know, something someone's been holding on to for even decades, it's through meditation, and it might, you know, they might have to practice it more, but like through these things we can just look at it and look at our issues, and then once we get past that, that's when it gets a lot easier, because once we see our problem, we can actually you know, kind of get an angle on it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the goal, and I feel like a lot of people like say, oh yeah, they'd give meditation a shot, and then never, like, you have to really fully be ready to meditate. Like you can't like half-ass your way through it. And I've seen my friends like say, oh yeah, I'll meditate, and then they just kind of sit there with their eyes closed, and you can tell they're not really doing it.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things like you really have to,
like, you
know, try, like not try, but like consciously like
be like fully willing to do this.
Be like willing to do it. You'll definitely get the best results if that's the case. You know, so you've been to 5 of these.
Yeah,
you've been damn. Okay, so that's really cool. I've always wanted to go to one. That's why when you told me that, I was like, man, I'm gonna ask you later about these. Like, where are they? But yeah, so what like first kind of flipped a switch for you when it comes to meditation that like really got you into it?
Well, it was definitely my first retreat, but it was like not the first day. Obviously, the first day, like when you go to these retreats, you're meditating like for 6-7+ hours a day. Like that's your life for that week.
Gosh.
So it was like the first day I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it through this. I want to talk. I want to do other things. I want to listen to music. I want to use my phone. Like,
where is my phone?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would do.
But like by like the 3rd, 4th day, I was just like, I got my phone back. I did not want to use it. I did not want to touch it. I wanted to just stay there even longer. I couldn't, obviously, but yeah.
Wow.
So somewhere in there, it just sort of like set in, like I was making like real progress with my life, and I was dealing with things, and I like had no anxiety, I had no stress, like for that brief moment at those last couple of days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So really, it's like getting over that hump of like kind of technology, instant gratification.
Yeah.
Like it's like a painful day or two.
Yeah.
And then once you like reach that afterwards, it's
Yeah,
like it's
you're
like just way better.
Exactly.
You know, to put it lightly.
And it was also like it's kind of like a weird experience though, because like once you leave there and you're like reintegrating back into everyday life, like
Yeah, it's like, oh man, gotta go back. I like you because
like,
some things
yeah.
you're forced to go on your phone, And you're
yeah,
forced
exactly.
To,
And then there's other like parts where it's like everybody around you is also feeling the same way. So like, it's like a super like sensitive, open space for anyone.
Yeah.
And the real world's not really like that.
Yeah. It's like it's brutal.
I went to like I think it was like a McDonald's after because I wanted a drink when I was driving back home. And like they told me they didn't have any more frozen lemonade left, and I was just like, it was like a normal interaction, and I was just devastated by that. It's like, oh god, I feel like I offended him.
What?
yeah, no, like, and it wasn't like I was sad that they didn't have it. I felt like I shouldn't have even asked the question.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah,
because like the way you said it, he was like so tired, and like, you know, the normal fast food employee is not really
into it.
Of course.
No one's passion is to do that, you know.
So like it was just his response, and it kind of like devastated me for a second. I had to get over that. Yeah.
Dude, that's like, I feel like meditation has a lot of impact on anxiety. I feel like that's like one of the, like for me there's like different types of meditation. Like if I'm really like in the middle of a basketball game, and I'm playing like 5-on-5 with someone, and I'm just like really enjoying it, or a tennis match.
Oh, for sure.
Or like, you know, like a runner's high. You know,
I
don't really run.
I was gonna say running. That's my favorite one to use it with too.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's a type of meditation to me. Because,
of course.
Because you get in this like rhythm of like doing something you love, and you're in this like you're in this flow state. You know? Yeah. So it's cool.
There's also like the other aspect to it where your like muscles might be sore and it might hurt, but you have to just like live with that and realize that it's just pain and it's not gonna like really do anything to you.
Yeah, and like recently, for me, I've I've caught myself in like kind of areas of like an hour or two of just not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I've had this like reaction to like oh, I need to do something. But it's but like I just needed to, I was thinking to myself, I was like, wow, that's not good. Like
no, that's like, not like,
that's
great.
not a good thing for the, you know, psyche or the spirit. And I was like, wow, I should really, you know, I think after this podcast, I think I'm gonna start meditating again.
Yeah.
Because like it's interesting. Recently it's like it's good to be busy, but it's also good to be able to not be busy.
Yeah, you need to set yourself some time for that, like at least a little bit each day.
Exactly. And when we can sit with ourselves and you know, take that time and know that, you know, it's okay and we're enough when we're alone. You know, we don't always have to be doing. Ironically, that gives us even more energy to do stuff.
Oh, of course.
You know, so it's like one of these things that just is interesting, and there's so many different layers to meditation too. That's cool. So when was was that first meditation that really sparked, you know,
the first retreat really sparked my like love for it and wanting to make it a part of my everyday life, or at least every week life. I don't meditate every day. I'm not gonna claim I do.
No, that's good. Dude, every week is dude, like that's good stuff. So like your second. Well, how was your second retreat? Was it like easier to let go of that phone?
Oh yeah. It's become easier and easier every time now. I'm just like ready to hand it over. Like I walk into the door, like take.
They just grab it. Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. That's huge, man. Phones have way too much control over us.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Like you just like learn just not to care. Like
yeah, and like no one. What matters is like personal relationships, like in-person relationships.
Oh, of course.
You know, it's like technology is fantastic and iPhones are great, when it comes to like, it's insane, you can plan a 20-person get together on your phone, it's wild. But like, having that balance between, not needing certain things on your phone but wanting them, and kind of finding that, and like, it's interesting because I've caught myself just like in the Instagrams, scrolling, pit of like 20 minutes go by. But it's like meditation, I feel like affects how you not only your phone, but just how you like present yourself.
Oh, of course.
And not only externally, but internally, and like self-value.
I'd say it probably affects you internally way more than externally.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it affected how I presented myself externally a tiny bit, because I just became slightly more confident in like what I wanted to look like, but internally I was just a completely different person after a while.
That's what's most important, man.
Yeah.
Like, starting internally, that's something that's really important to me, is looking,
beneath the surface.
Yeah. Put this in the put this in the beginning thing that I edit.
There we go. We got the clip.
Yeah, I just tell myself, like, no one's like, I don't have a crew. I don't know why I just like pretended I have someone like doing that for me. Dude, yeah, it's wild. Like, just remembering that, like, meditation is one of those things that can help your psyche and your spirit. Yeah. Have you found that you've like been more intrigued with more of the spiritual aspect as well?
Some of it, not all of it. I wouldn't consider myself a highly spiritual person to begin with. Yeah. I was never quite that, and I still don't consider myself a highly spiritual person, I guess what I'm getting at, but I do. I would say I do like started to believe more in like having like a soul and a consciousness, which is something I just didn't really believe in.
Oh yeah.
Like, for a while, my main belief for most of my life was soul and consciousness are just something made up by the brain to explain how it has thoughts.
Like how this whole thing is going on.
But it's like not, in my mind, is like, it's not real though. It's just our explanation for something we don't know.
Yeah. That's interesting, man. I've been toying with that concept. Of just like, like the fact that we can even talk about like our consciousness, like we're the only animals that can do that, which is interesting, and like, I don't know, it's really something that interests. Do you think that like, do you believe in like that the universe is like ever expanding?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, you do. Okay, cool. Because there's the thing that like messes with me, just going off that, is like how many trillions of like planets there are, and like how many, like, there's gotta be like smarter like other life force. It's like, it's just like, there's
no doubt there's other life forces.
Yeah.
There's also very high chance that they're smarter than us. At least some of them are smarter than us. Like,
might be on this freaking planet, man. That's sketchy.
Like, one of my favorite quotes is like, every time like humans think we figure out how the universe works, we're wrong, so let's just assume we're wrong all the time.
Yeah. Dude, that's Plato.
Yeah.
It's like just the greatest thing to, one of the most enlightening things to remember is that we know nothing.
Yeah.
And remembering that, I was actually like, that's another interesting thing to me, is like, because I believe in, I think I believe in, whether it's like natural or not, in like that still small voice inside of us that like tells it, like, kind of is like the foundational truth, like that we kind of, like when we do something like wrong or whatever, it's like always like, hey buddy, like, it's not gonna serve you. You know what I mean? Because what do you think about that? It's interesting because I've been toying around with that.
I guess I haven't really thought of that.
Oh yeah. No, it's because it hit me because of Socrates' story. When he long story short, he was corrupting. I think it was he lived in Greece.
He was Athens, Greece.
He was corrupting the youth by telling them to think for themselves.
Oh, yeah. What a terrible man.
They're like, get him. But so he was doing that. He's like getting the younger people of that generation to think for themselves, and basically sharing his, philosophies
Yeah.
and what he believes in and how he lives. So, they put him to trial, but it wasn't really a trial. They were going to kill him.
Yeah, that was Greek trials.
Yeah. They're like, you want a trial, Socrates? 'Cause, I mean, you can get one. But they gave him a trial, and so he knew it was just death.
Yeah.
All of his friends knew it was just death. And the foundational philosophy that he lived by, or the way he lived, was he always listened to that still small voice, no matter what.
Yeah.
He was like, he always listened to that, like, consciousness inside of him, that other voice.
Yeah.
And I think, that's why he's, after, 2,500 years, we're still talking about him.
Yeah.
He's a really wise man, enlightened being. But he asked that voice, and he asked himself, he's like, should I run? He could have easily got away.
Yeah.
It's like, should I run away? Go to just refuge in another
Yeah.
city. And the voice told him no. The voice was like, take this on head on. And he was like, all right.
I mean, I can tell you every time I think I'm smarter than the voice, I'm not.
Yeah. No, I feel the voice just like blatantly I feel.
Yeah.
But the voice was just like, told him no, told him to stay, and he didn't question. He's like, all right, this is my truth. I lived a great life. He was very old. He was like in his 70s, 80s, or even maybe 90s. I'm not sure. And all of his friends begged him to reconsider. He's like, they're gonna kill you, and he was like, I know. And he, when he got to the trial, he, like, oddly enough, it's recorded that he really didn't seem fearful.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, this is the end of my chapter.
Well, yeah, he came to accept it.
Yeah, and it's like that acceptance that really, I think, is very helpful.
Yeah.
In life, because life is suffering. Existence is suffering. There's just stuff happening all the time, but it doesn't always have to be. There's always, every human being suffers.
Of course.
But it's like, how can we transcend that suffering?
Yeah.
And like react in such a way that serves us best.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think meditation has. When I meditate, that helped me. I went to the Zen Buddhist temple for a while in Peterborough.
Oh yeah.
And I did some meditations. I met the master over there, and I meditated with them for a little bit. And it's interesting, man. Like, it really, over everything else, it really helped me deal with the calamities that I knew would hit. Like, I think once we realize that, shit's bound to hit the fan, it's like there's things that are bound to happen. It's like you have a much better way, and you've built your house, on the rock virtually, and you are more ready to take those things on, from the meditation,
of course,
or from those, from that self-reflection.
Yeah.
I admire you for even looking into it, man, because it's, kids your age, I mean, our age, what are you, in 19, 18? 18, yeah. So, like, it's not...
kind of like a taboo thing in society, too. I've never understood why, but the thing is, it's, like, not, like, certified, like, medicine, like,
so it's like there are a lot of people screaming it's BS out there,
but like, I mean, like, I don't care if it's a placebo effect. If it's helping me, it's helping me.
Exactly. It's like, I am, literally curing my anxiety or whatever with this, so it's like, placebo or not, it's like something's happening. People have taken, I forget who told me this, but I know it to be true. My friend knew someone who he was close friends with who took sugar pills as antidepressants, and it worked. It worked. He still doesn't know that they're sugar pills, but like the fact that he's like, this will work on me, and then he believes that. Yeah. It's like, that's medicine.
Yeah.
Whether it's like tangible medicine or not, I think if medicine, if it heals something, or if it, if it works, it works. And
you can't really complain.
You can't complain. And like meditation is like a lot of aspects of meditation is totally like scientifically backed too. Like, you know, blood pressure going down. Depression,
like,
anxiety.
You've seen like there's
down.
like CAT scans of people's brains while they're meditating. It's way different than just like normally sitting.
Yeah.
Like,
so no one can really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real.
It's a real thing. Like,
you heard it here first, folks.
Confirmed from two 18 and 21-year-old doctors.
Beneath the Surface podcast. Remember the name. Dude, yeah, it's really, you know, one of those things that, like, before was, you know, it is still, you know, looked at as BS to some people, but it's like, it's just not.
Oh,
you know, it's one of those things. It's reality.
Yeah, my ideal world is one where everyone meditates. I know that that's not a possibility anytime soon, but like it's still like my dream. Like,
dude, that is a solid dream to have. Because I mean, what that essentially means is when everyone kind of just looks at themselves.
Yeah.
And you know, objectively. Because that, I mean, imagine if everyone did that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I need to do that more. You know, I need. It's like finding that time, but then. You know, a lot of times it's not about the time. It's about the willingness. You don't need to go on like
6-7 hour.
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes 10? Week.
Yeah,
is like
that's like when I'm not on retreats. I'm like lucky if I'm getting like an hour a week. It's normally like half an hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's like, that's what it's about, man. You're like conscious about your self work, and you know, conscious about. Just like bettering, I think, because what meditation boils down to a lot of time is like it's just bettering yourself, whether physically, you know, because it has those physical effects, but also mentally and spiritually to others too. Yeah, it's really cool. I like that. You know, it reminds me of like alternative medicine, because like I think people treat meditation the same way they treat alternative medicine a lot of the time. A lot
of the people who believe in alternative medicine also believe in meditation, and that's. Like, I'm not saying that's a problem. Like, good for them. But like,
oh yeah, totally.
Like that's like part of the stigma around meditation.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that thing those weird hippies use.
Yeah. It's like just building the stereotype.
Yeah.
It's just nonsense, you know. Because conventional medicine, you know, has its pros.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cons. You know, there's a lot, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of corruption in conventional medicine. There's also a lot of BS
for sure.
in, you know, alternative medicine. But it's just like looking for the pros and cons in both, and then using the pros in both. You know, because there's a ton of pros in alternative medicine. There's just, you know, the same thing as like with meditation. That, you know, essential oil has like cured a lot of my like I would have like an achy back pain, or like I'd like, you know, mess up my wrist a little bit. Just like put it on before bed.
Oh, yeah.
And it like works every time. And I'm just like, you know, and that's one of those things that, I don't know, it's interesting. It's like.
Yeah, my one thing with essential oils is please don't drink them.
Yes. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. I've heard people like drink them to like cure something. Please,
oh my God.
Please don't.
No, that will.
Yeah, that's not gonna help.
No, that's pure oil. Dude, if that stuff gets on my like lip, it burns. I can't imagine like my digestive system taking that on.
I enjoy essential oils, but I do not endorse drinking them.
There are things to know about them.
Yeah.
Like lavender has helped me a lot. And like it's easy to like kind of be like that's BS, you know.
Yeah.
It's like easy to, but it's like that's what people say about Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's never gonna win. It's like, well, you know, he's gotten a lot of, you know, people backing him now. He's raised over $10 million.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the only candidates that's consistently growing. So it's like, just using that philosophy, we should just use that philosophy on everything. It's like, don't kind of judge it until you've personally, you know, experienced it.
Experience things, yeah. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, it's it's so like it's like a meditation. It's like experiencing meditation, and
for sure.
And like you have backed opinions on it because you've been to 4 or 5 retreats.
Yeah, about to be 6. Can't wait for that.
When is that? That's sick.
December sometime after Christmas, and it
Nice.
ends on January 1st. That's my favorite one.
Where are these located? Is this
I go to ones in Massachusetts.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to like anybody who's offering a meditation retreat. You don't have to do mine. Like,
Oh yeah.
But like
Not
the
sponsored by meditation
yeah.
retreats.
Yeah, no, I'm not that cool.
Although I wish.
No, I go to ones in.
Or you. I mean,
yeah,
you could be.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I wish. I've been there a lot, so. Yeah. I go to Inward Bound Mindfulness Experiences. I think it's called. Everyone just calls it IBME for short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is, yeah.
And I'm sure they have a website, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Go register. There's teen retreats, young adult retreats, adult retreats. Yeah.
That's sick.
All over the country. You don't have to be from New England. They have them in California.
Oh, yeah.
Toronto and
in America,
Vancouver.
there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
In America. Yeah. It's like exploding, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things that people are realizing is legitimate. You know?
Yeah, it's slowly growing.
Yeah.
No, it's just even in the time I've been there, like the first time I signed up, like I had no problem. They're like, all right, you're signed up, you're good to go. The second time, like again, same thing. After the third, from now, it's like you have to sign up months in advance to make sure you're there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Oh
Like the first time I went, I signed up like 5 days before it started, and like because I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, this is like right after December, like right before New Year's. This is like my school vacation time. Do I really want to go just sit in a room for like?
You're like, I'll do it. I'll do it for the.
And now, like, yeah, you have to I have to sign up months in advance, and
Wow.
yeah,
That's a good sign.
yeah, it's definitely evolved a lot since it started. One of the teachers who's there was on the very first teen retreat that they ever did.
Wow.
She says, yeah, there was like 14 teens then. Now that we're pushing 50 plus every retreat.
Oh my gosh. Now that is
And
consistent
with people
growth.
wait listed all too. So yeah.
I'm really glad to hear that. Hey man, I wanted to ask you about your music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so how long have you been doing music for, and what kind of music is it? I'm curious.
I've been
It's really cool.
Yeah, no, I've always been fascinated by music, and I played with middle school and high school band on trombone for as long as I was in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like lots of styles of music. I've been trying to like mess around with rap because I like the lyricism in it. Like, it's about like just telling your story in like the best possible way, in my opinion. And
It really
yeah.
Rap's really, poetry with music.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
No, I got into it by freestyling like a lot. A lot. Yeah, that's like my main thing.
Freestyling
Yeah.
is so fun.
Oh yeah.
I actually am really into that too.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like it's hard.
Yeah.
Like I've had
Spend some time.
I've really.
How long have you been doing that for?
Oh, it's just for fun with friends.
Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah. It's
I've been consistently like trying to freestyle at least once a day for over a year now.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's consistent growth,
Yeah.
dude. I bet
You
you've
add
seen
up.
improvements.
Oh,
man.
for sure. Like I listened to like the first time I ever recorded myself. I was like, I was fucking garbage. I was like, holy shit! Like, why did I ever like post that? I regret everything.
Dude, rap is amazing,
Yeah.
man. There's a lot of stigma behind rap too, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like just.
I feel like a
In
lot
my
of the things
opinion-
I'm into, there's a lot of stigma behind it, and I
Yeah.
swear I'm not like trying to just be like an edgy kid. But
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's because there's just so much rap out there that in my opinion is just not the person's truth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of and I don't know. Usually there's a lot of mainstream raps like sex, drugs, alcohol.
I mean, if that's your truth, then it
Yeah.
sometimes can sound good.
Yeah. If that's your truth,
Yeah.
it depends on the context,
Yeah.
I guess, right? But like, if like you're talking about those things in the context of like, I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of rappers who are like mainstream but just get overshadowed because they're not really controversial and actually just tell their truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I think speaking one's truth is I like a lot better. Like
Yeah.
listening to music. And like there's totally like places for like, the kind of ego, sex, drugs, alcohol. Like,
Yeah.
in that context. thing. It's like fun to like just like
Oh yeah.
have loud music and like
Yeah.
go ham. Like, but yeah, personally, it's like
Yeah,
I really like that those songs when the lyrics really have like
Yeah.
a depth to them.
Oh, for sure.
So it's really cool.
I look up to JID in his lyric writing, if you know who he is.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'll check him out.
I should definitely show you some of his songs.
Yeah.
All of his lyric writing is just like insane, like next level lyric writing, in my opinion.
I'm very
in my
excited.
opinion,
No,
yeah.
totally. I am super excited to check him out.
Yeah, but
do you know Akala?
Akala.
Oh man, we should totally. Can I show you a song after this?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Akala. How do you spell that?
Akala.
Okay, there's like another guy who's like has like a kind of similar name.
Yeah, I think you'd really like Akala.
I was thinking Jatezka, which is different but like the same. He very much just speaks his truth. Like he's never gonna be like big, but like
it's like I'd rather speak my truth and it's kind of like
I mean he did a song with Jaden Smith, so that was good for him.
Oh dang, that's awesome, dude. And it is it attracts when people are speaking their truth.
Yeah.
It's just sadly like not with the like I don't know. There's like a marketing ploy kind of seemingly against that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, it's like something to do with just like news outlets, and you want to get yourself promoted on like social media. So like a good strategy for like if you're just making like the like ego mumble rap like sex, drugs, alcohol, just do something controversial, because all of your music will have like the same meaning, and all the people who already like that type of music will probably like yours if you don't sound garbage. So like you do something controversial, you can end up on like a front page, and then
so
you can
people
just
are like doing that more and like looking for those
well, that was like a little that's like a little Pump and a Tekashi 6ix9ine thing right there. It's like they live off controversy to stay in
business.
Like especially Lil Pump, like no offense to people like Lil Pump.
It's good to have opinions about this stuff, man.
It's like I've seen he just does like controversial things for the sake of being controversial occasionally.
And, like rides like the media wave. There's so how did you get into it? Like what was your like first kind of inkling that you were like, wow, I'm really down to like practice these kinds of things?
It was like just for fun. I was like alone in my room, no one was in the house. I was just like I just looked up like freestyle beat on YouTube, put it on, and tried to like go with it, and I had a lot of fun. So I just decided to keep going with it.
Dude, that's the best reason to do absolutely anything, too. Is like, that's why I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's like fun.
Also, like the people you meet when you like are like talking about music and trying to like find like people who want to like feature on your songs or help you out. Like I've met some incredible people that I like would never have met if I didn't like at least try. Like I don't.
Awesome. There's an awesome community.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a huge community. When I feel like when one finds like a craft that they love, doing and perfecting. They find the community is drawn to them, but they also find the community.
Yeah.
Like with that, and like with this podcast, I've like, there's like the New Hampshire like podcast Facebook, there's like a lot of stuff that like people get together and
stuff that you would never have known existed if you weren't really into it.
There's like these collaborations.
Like if you didn't tell me that, I wouldn't have known there was a New Hampshire podcast Facebook out there.
It's out there, man. It's good stuff.
I've heard legends of it.
Dude, I love it because like finding that craft, it goes back to like just doing what you love the most. The energy and long term, the money will come.
Yeah, exactly.
If you love doing something, it's noticeable. And people will see that and want to promote it.
Oh yeah.
And that's cool. So what are you working on now? Like are you on like Spotify and stuff or?
Not yet. I'm going to be once I finish this EP that I'm working on.
Nice.
It's been kind of rough because my mic's been kind of going in and out of functionality.
Oh yeah.
So I might save up and just buy a new one and delay it, or might go steal my girlfriend's setup because she also has a recording studio. So I might just go in and like steal that for a bit. Yeah.
You hang out?
Yeah. Can you leave the room for a second?
5 hours later.
All right.
It's like okay, they want to hang out now. Recording's done.
Yeah.
So man, let me know when you when you post stuff out there, man.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to like promote it, and
of course.
it's really, it's cool to see. You know, it's cool to see people just doing what they love, and because I had Jeremy on, as you know, and he makes music, and he does awesome stuff.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah, and you got it's really cool to see people like you and Jeremy who are going all in for you know what they love. Yeah. So that's cool. So you've been doing it for a while, like practicing for a while. How long? Like, did you say you've been freestyling for every day for a year?
Almost every day for a year.
That's wild, dude. That's impressive. That's dedication. That's like that's like just setting a goal for yourself and doing.
I think it's like a year and a half now. Now I'm thinking about it.
Oh my, dude.
Because let's see, I definitely started in the summer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like posting stuff to like my Snapchat and Instagram all throughout my senior year. So yeah, a year and a half now.
Dude, time flies when you're doing what you love, man. that is a fact. That's really cool. So yeah, well I guess we're at the 40 mark. So I guess
the 40 mark, yeah.
I guess we'll cut it. But
all right.
Hey man, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. This
has been a really, really fun time just talking about one, meditation, but two, like just like talking about another person who's creating and down for that. So it's cool. So thanks for your insights, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It meant a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, dude. Back on anytime. Invitation is there.
Fun fact: that's the first time we ever met each other.
Yes. Literally.
Yeah.
I will see you guys next time on the Beneath the Surface podcast.